大家好，我叫胡月，来自于中国的江苏省。我来澳大利亚有12年了，我会说英语、普通话以及我自己的方言，我也听得懂，并且会说一些粤语。我是一名翻译员。Hello everyone, my name is Yue. I came from Jiangsu province in China. I have been living in Australia for 12 years. I can speak English, Mandarin, and my own hometown dialect. I can also understand and speak a little bit Cantonese. I am an interpreter and translator. I have been interested in languages ever since I started learning English in China. I completed my master's degree in interpreting and translation studies at Monash University in 2020 and started my career as a community interpreter. I did my practicum with Northern Health during my study at Monash University and became a Mandarin in-house interpreter for Northern Health soon after I graduated, which was very lucky. Working for a big organization furthered my journey in other language and cultural related fields. For example, transcultural trainings and multicultural communities engagement. Working in public health sector also gives me a lot of insights about the health system and how my role can better fit into those systems. My current position is the manager for Transcultural and Language Services Department. My profession is interpreting and translation, so Chinese language and linguistic knowledge plays a significant part when working as an interpreter or translator, where the meaning of two different languages are translated to each other for all parties to understand. A community interpreter can work in all sorts of settings, including hospitals, schools, community centers, immigration, police, courts, or sometimes jails. The service can be delivered face-to-face, by telephone or video. A translator, on the other hand, is different than an interpreter. Most of the time, a translator would translate into their mother tongue. For me, it would be translate into Chinese. Localization is also another emerging area where we use our language skills to localize applications or websites from English. So does subtitling. Theories in linguistic pragmatics are being applied all the time during cross-cultural communications. As an interpreter or translator, we always say that you can never translate word for word because you convey a message from one language to another. You must understand the meaning of the utterance in its context before accurately transfer it into another language. For example, the word story has a very different meaning based on its context. When the doctor asks the patient to tell him the story of an injury, it wouldn't be the kind of bedtime story you tell your kids. Instead of 故事, using 经过 would be more appropriate. So applying those theories not only help us to do our job well, but also help us to understand why we are doing it. To be an interpreter or a translator, understanding both languages and cultures very well is the basic requirement. On top of that, you will need to train your memory, especially your short-term memory, to retain the message and deliver it accurately. Some note-taking skills are also required to help you with the memory. Besides that, curiosity is important because you will need to learn a lot of the background knowledge of each assignment in order to do it well, sometimes in a very short time. Interpersonal skills are important too because it is a job that you will be required to get in contact with different people almost every day in different scenarios. The good thing about that is you will never be bored from this job. Be mentally prepared and look after yourself because very often you are experiencing other people's lives and that sometimes can be very daunting. On a practical level, I would recommend you to Google NATI, which is the National Standards and Certifying Authority for Translators and Interpreters in Australia, if you would like to pursue this career. I have to say, first of all, for me as a skilled migrant from China, being able to speak English helped me in the process of migrating to Australia. After coming to Australia and living here, being able to speak Chinese and understand Chinese culture in turn helped me in engaging with my own community, as well as promoting Chinese culture to other communities. I have been volunteering for community social clubs not long after arriving in Australia, especially in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. Every year, we have been together organizing Chinese New Year and Mid Autumn festivals in Witosi Council for the community, and that gives me a lot of satisfaction, especially our main audience are not from Chinese background. Being a bicultural person does give you different perspectives, and being the bridge is challenging but also fun. I hope all of you enjoy that as well.